they hired me in May of '61, and then shortly after that, the 3-year moratorium that President Eisenhower had put into effect after the '57-'58 atmospheric series. He had put on a 3-year moratorium. It ended, and then they started doing testing again. While I was there, they did Small Boy, which was a small shot in Area 5 on a 10-foot tower. I participated in that. They done 2 shots in Area 18, Little Feller 1 and 2, that were balloon shots where the device was hung on the balloons, testing military equipment, tanks and armored vehicles and that kind of stuff. And then they also had a series of tests up at the TTR, which is the Tonopah Test Range, testing the disbursement of plutonium. And they had projects called Clean Slate 1 and 2 and Double Track, where they simulated having bombs in a bunker and exploded it to see how far the radioactive material scattered downwind. And on the arcs that they had built in the desert, they had animals, donkeys, dogs, sheep, everything. And then they would bring them in and take the organs that they wanted so that they could do it. Then they started doing the underground, getting ready for underground testing. And when I hired in, all the way down the Mercury Highway, there was huge billboards, probably 8 by 10 feet, that said windrows contain alpha contamination. Do not disturb. And when they started getting ready for the underground testing, they just took bulldozers, road graders, and dug right through them and went in and drilled the pads for the drill rig and for the trailer park and the cable run and all that stuff. And then once they got it drilled and were getting ready to emplace it, security controlled the main access road, which went right through all of those windrows. And you're standing out there for 12 hours a day in that dust that contained alpha contamination. And then after the shot was done, security always went in with the reentry party to protect the classified that was the result of the test being done. So we were the last out and the first in all the tunnel shots, and there was dozens of them. And I was directly in front of the, I don't remember whether it was I, J, or K, but one of those tunnels when they shot Des Moines, and everything came out the portal, the blast door, the gas seal door, the cables. It sounded like a huge lion roaring, and then all of a sudden it looked like somebody had thrown a massive handful of black spaghetti. That was all the cables and everything coming out. And RadSafe and I were right in directly line with that, just about maybe a half a mile from the portal. And when they said 0 time, his instrument pegged on the setting he had, and then he flipped it over and said to, it pegged again, and he said, let's get out of here. So we immediately left the area. We have a list of over 150 security people that's died, most of them from cancer, and the biggest scarred force we ever had out there was a little over 300. So, that's an exceedingly high, and like prostate cancer, it's not even covered under this, yet we've had numerous, at least probably a dozen people come down with or die of prostate cancer, including myself. I had to have surgery because of prostate cancer, but they say that's not covered. But everybody that I know has been denied. I filed a Part B claim, denied. I filed a Part E claim, denied. I got a letter after I retired in '86. I wrote a letter to the RICO, which done all the physicals and done all the radiation monitoring work, and I asked them for a radiation exposure history. They wrote me back on April 28th of 1989 and said they couldn't provide the records, that they didn't have them, And yet now that I've filed a claim, they're suddenly coming up with all kinds of records that show 000.